right, what's up, yins guys? The story I saw on the TV news. By the time it came on our TV news, uh, our Steelers have already played their last game. But still, I see this on like our TV news, and I'm like looking and shaking my head, and then putting in parentheses all this shit that these people are going online or making anonymous calls, and they evidently think it's funny to cause schools to be on lockdown and saying these everything from shooting threats to bomb threats, and that damn shit's got to stop. But then they got to take it all seriously because we've heard on the news that somebody has went and did it. No different than a Las Vegas shooting. And but reason why I'm gonna talk about this real quick here is this guy who they caught him in Texas, traced him to a computer, and saw this guy's pathetic face. He does. He tried to play it off too. According to the news, he tried to play it off like, "Oh, I was just looking on eBay or something." But seeing his pathetic face on the news, they caught him in Texas, and he was saying something like that he was going to go to Heinz Field and shoot every single Steeler player in sight, and every fan he could possibly shoot, and then end his own pathetic life. And you're looking at this and it's like, dude, if you got that much problem and you hate the world, don't want to live, go get some damn help or something, or clean house in your own mind and heart, or whatever. Don't take your shit out on other people or try to do shit like that. And evidently this dude, no different than the Las Vegas shooting, a bunch of people at a concert and all that, they have issue. It's not like that some other part of the world is oppressing them or anything. This is just another asshole that wakes up hating the world. Don't know if he's going to come through with it or not. Some people might, you don't know. Asshole that wakes up hating the world and doesn't like this. You can tell they don't like to see anybody having a good time, whether going to a concert or a game. So with all the other bad shit in the world, that I don't want to advocate that people going out to shoot either, but the people they pick to shoot is people that innocent people that are out having a good time. They're not like you and me who maybe watched all kind of other movies like I don't even want to say don't even want to say that, like The Punisher or Charles Bronson or something, where people want to do things, and they're just Hollywood, but people fighting against evil and crime on the streets. I grew up with Charles Bronson. We had a couple other movies like it, but I don't want to put this on Hollywood either. But what I grew up with, it's hard for me to grasp. But somebody, you could tell they don't like to see anybody having a good time, and they decided that, oh, it's easier to shoot a bunch of unarmed people that didn't do nothing to them. And the reason why they're targeting them and all that, they have some kind of problem. They feel worthless. Their life is miserable. They don't want to see anybody else gathering and having a good time. So even if they don't go and shoot, they call in bomb threats. They call in shooting threats and all that because they have no normal beefs with the rest of the world or whatever. And they just don't like people having a good time, so they don't. So they want people to be scared, and plus people pay good money for tickets to something, and they got to cancel it. And these people are, they cause a lot of trouble, costs and resources, bringing police and bringing bomb squads places, and these people revenue. They pay good money for tickets for somewhere. And they're causing a lot of trouble. So what these people damn need to make an example out of them if they find them, my personal opinion, a guy like this, I don't give a shit if they take him, just take this guy in the middle of Heinz Field or take him to a stadium in Texas in the middle of the field and give him a damn good ass whooping, give him turn him over their knee and give him a spanking over live television. There would be people saying on Facebook the trouble with kids, because kids and even grown adults are doing this stupid shit, getting schools put on lockdown. And they're saying on Facebook, they ought to bring back the paddle. That never did me any good or you guys any good. Maybe a little bit, I don't know. And then some people get older and then they pay good money to get a spanking. I don't know. But this guy, he need to be spanked real good and not enjoy it. Tape a kazoo in his mouth and give him a good spanking with a belt or rubber hose for a good solid hour. Make an example out of him. Bring back the spanking, but spank him real good and over live television. Make an example out of him. These people need to know this shit ain't no joke. I mean, how much farther is it to go? You can't ignore every little threat. I understand that. And you want to give them what they want because that's what they want. Put places on lockdown. But the minute I understand people, the minute they ignore one, they have to heighten security and everything from stadiums to concerts and all that. With all that shit going on in epidemic, well, geez, they got to raise the price of maybe the tickets to something. They got to cover the cost somehow. If the stadiums and venues have to spend more money to hire security, then they're going to pass on that cost to the consumer, and then pretty soon, people of certain other classes of individuals that working class can't afford maybe tickets to go to football or any concert. I mean, unless they make a down payment on the ticket, then attendance will go down, and they want people to be scared too. You can't have that. We can't have that. But if you ignore this shit too, because there's people out there that actually do it. But the one good solid answer is that you can hopefully do, like they did this guy, trace the computer or trace wherever, trace the phone, the cell phone, and then you get these assholes that they're going to get some kind of attention that way. I mean, I said before on and on that the people that actually do this shit, they're damn cowards. They pick the people that are having a good time. And I don't want to tell anybody to go do stuff like in Hollywood, the vigilante thing. But I grew up in my own mind, I can't grasp why these people, cowards, if they go and do that shit in parts of this country that are gangs, that are armed to the teeth and shit, they'd be dead in a minute. So what they do, they go to fucking places people get concerts, regular people unarmed, or like that guy in a theater in a Batman movie. Oh, that's easy. They do, they pick the cowards and the demented people, the cowards, delusional, and try and in their own minds there's some kind of martyr. I think I don't care what other people believe in or don't believe in. There's a place in hell for people like that are cowards like that, because you do that and kill yourself. In my own mind, couldn't even conceive it. There's should be a healthy fear that if you do something in a cowardly manner, you're not going to escape by killing yourself. I personally would think that no way, something else is going to get your number. It's no different than it being, the way it's the 21st century now. You can't outrun people, and it's harder to do shit now and run out of the country now because there's an increase where they're extraditing you. If they find out who you are, they can extradite you from other countries, except if it's some third world country where we don't have any treaty with. Then you run to some of them countries. You don't want to run to them countries unless you want to be a terrorist, and they watch those countries all that. You know what I mean? Some of us should have, wouldn't even conceive doing that anyway, but I mean, what do these people think? I mean, they think they're dying some kind of martyr by shooting up a bunch of people that never did nothing to them, and not a one of them would even have the guts to go to some of these parts of the city that are kind of like gangland. The minute they even raise that weapon, they'd be just Swiss cheese. You know what I mean? Total cowardice. I mean, cowardly, go behind a computer and do shit like that, and just because their life sucks. You know what I mean? If they get traced, people want to make an example out of them. They need a good spanking. that they would not enjoy. Tape a kazoo to their mouth and a good solid hour or 2 hours, and then people, yeah, they need to learn that it don't pay to do that shit. I mean, somebody, if their life sucks, find something to do in this world to try to change it. Don't be some asshole going and calling in bomb threats and shooting threats and going out shoot. Fuck's sakes.